3, 2, 1.
The following Pulpery podcast is brought to you by The Goddamn Sauce. Go to thegdsauce.com for details to order all the sauces to replace your ordinary condiments. Welcome to the Pulpery Politicscast with Brock and Ben. This podcast is where we discuss the political headlines that intrigue us and all those little jerks that enrage us.
Okay, history made today.
Yeah.
Literal history. Something happened for the first time.
Although, didn't we really see this coming?
Well, I mean, everybody
Didn't
did.
we?
So now the thing is, now that it has happened, it will happen again.
Yes.
See? So what I did there?
Peter Pan and Battlestar Galactica.
You're goddamn right. So now it is.
So say we all, motherfucker.
Now it's like, oh, Jesus Christ. Yep. It is there in record for the work. Now the chair's squeaking. It always gets to the political part. It's like it's wanting me to shut up. It is on record now. Wow. Okay, so you have to put this in context here. Historically, other than it has never happened before, one time, and he got reelected. I did research.
Well, so, like, it was so meaningless that it's not...
The first time, right? That's kind of how I read it.
It's not talked about.
Yeah,
Like,
that's why you won't hear about it unless you I do, because
it also depends on, like, what president it happens under. Like if Congress is actually the one in power, you don't have this shit happen because they understand the gravity of what they're doing. But when you have idiots running the asylum, well, this was completely constructed by Butthead in that.
Well, yeah.
This was a demand he made in order so that Kevin McCarthy could get his dick sucked.
9 months to the day.
Well, yeah.
That they finally got the vote for him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's after 15 of them.
Which, of course, is the ultimate irony for Kevin McCarthy is that you just brokered a deal with the Democrats, and then they all were like, "Fuck you, dude."
And we text. I asked you because there was a murmur like it could be. There's a slight possibility.
So you're telling me there's a chance
if the Democrats really wanted to push it and be like, "You've got to give us this shit now," but I think he just wanted to watch the world burn.
Well,
a ruby the size of a grapefruit. Sorry, I did that all wrong. But he just wants to watch the world burn. Go ahead.
Well, I don't know, and the Democrats are playing their cards very close to the chest right now.
Right, because I haven't even seen anything about any kind of statement.
Well, I mean, I would sit there and say is that you obviously. Hakeem Jeffries doesn't want to split the Democratic caucus.
No.
On that side of the House, and then maybe if I'm thinking about it, like if I were in that position, would be get rid of McCarthy, put him into this stalemate, and then try and get 8 moderate Republicans to vote for Hakeem Jeffries, and then you get a Democrat
because that's
in the
what McCarthy was hoping for.
Yeah.
He was hoping, okay, the Democrats got my back.
Right.
And we can move.
No, because you're, and
you are no Mitch McConnell.
Please do not mistake me when I say this, but when Matt Gaetz was doing the Sunday shows, he's not entirely wrong in that Kevin McCarthy is a slimy motherfucker who's only looking out for himself.
Correct.
So
he's playing both sides against themselves.
Yeah.
Against himself at
exactly.
this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was never going to get out of this.
He's clearly not clever enough to run a long con like Mitch McConnell.
That's why I said he is no Mitch McConnell.
No.
And that dude's dead, and he's still.
He's no Nancy Pelosi. He's definitely no Tip O'Neill.
No, he's none. But He wants to be.
Mm.
And he's terrible
So
at
bad.
it.
Yeah.
He's So now he's just some lame duck rep hanging out.
Right. Like
Former House Speaker.
so. But yeah, that's what if I were in the Democratic leadership, that would be my thing of like, let's get them out, let's get them in this cycle of bullshit, and let's start like. And I'm sure they're if they're smart, they're already talking to a few moderate Republicans of going like, look, like if you vote for us, we'll give you all a couple of concessions.
We're willing to work with
Yeah.
you. Which is all that. What happened to that?
Well,
What happened to being like a couple of people being on the fringes and everybody else being like, okay?
And here's the deal: is that as much as the Republicans want to tout it, the last little bit of Pelosi's era, and with Hakeem Jeffries, he's got the Democrats in lockstep.
That's so.
There's no like.
He's young, right?
Yeah. There's no and I think that's part of it is that he's young enough to know how to talk to the progressive wing.
Right, because that's
of the
the issue with
yeah.
Biden and Pelosi before him.
Right.
It's like
they couldn't get AOC and
like, yeah, okay, you're doing a good job,
and,
but you're
Tlaib and
you're old.
Them under wraps. Whereas
I was trying to remember what him. Never mind.
Because it's not
What
just
they call
AOC,
them.
but yeah.
I know you're talking about.
But it's the progressive caucus within the Democratic wing, but none of them have come out and been like, well, we're not voting for this, we're not voting for that.
No,
like
they just
he's got them in the tent, and so now
that's not a bad thing. It is just look, he's got somebody
right
as a group, as a collective. We are all working toward the same thing, which is kind of what government's supposed to be about.
Well, and that's the other part is that coming up on a midterm election, and that not midterm.
No.
You're coming up on
it's an election cycle.
Yeah, not
next year is the big one.
Right. So, in that if you could parlay
these are all
that,
down ticketed this year, right? Like state level mainly.
Yeah. This one, yeah.
All right, go ahead. I just needed
specifically for us, yeah. But in 2 years. But that's the thing is that if they can somehow, and it's highly doubtable that Hakeem Jeffries would be able to pull this off and become speaker. But the idea is that if you can get enough House Republicans to caucus with you, right, then you could actually get shit done, and then those Republicans can go out and say, look, we had these crises, we fixed it. And then the Democrats can go to all the other
and say, look what we did.
They were dysfunctional. We fixed Washington.
Fixed this, so you don't. And they all work together to get the spending bill for another 45 days. So there is what's the word I'm looking for? There is space to work together.
Right.
It's not just the hardline Butthead and his douchebags and
it's
the hard left.
It's only literally 8 of them.
I thought it was 12.
Yeah, but only 8 Republicans voted to oust him.
So those are the hard.
Yeah.
How does it? Never mind.
Because all the Democrats and 8 Republicans. That's how thin that majority is.
Did they abstain? Did they just I'm present?
Maybe.
And because that's an option. I'm not voting against you, but guess what? I'm not voting for you. I'm just going to sit here.
Yeah.
And you're nothing to
me. We'd
me.
have to look at the final.
And I tried looking, and I couldn't find it.
Yeah.
Because it was so early when we went on air.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Before we get to anything else, are we saving the list?
We can.
No, I want to do it. We'll move
okay,
fraud in the next one. So I want to know, because I've read that there is a list that needed to be made. And I don't know how the list works out prior to this and the whole, I'm going to finger your butthole, you're going to finger my butthole, write these 6 things down that I want you to, and I'll give you a reach around. I knew that happened before, but now it just seems a little hardcore.
Yeah.
So Apparently one of the things was, obviously, you only needed one person to vote no confidence, which is what I'll call it, because that's basically what it is.
Exactly.
Instead of however many it was before. And then another rule was he needed to have a list of approved, for lack of a better term, from these 8 Republicans. I want to know who's on that list. Oh, God, I want to know who's on that list.
I guarantee you Steve Scalise is on that list.
So, but, okay, my main question is, did Gaetz have the balls to put up any of those psychopaths?
Probably. He's probably on that list.
You think he is?
Yeah.
Or
You're telling me he would not put himself on a list like that?
And not like one of the Marjorie Taylor Greenes or
she's on it too, yeah.
Or
maybe not Boebert, but
any one of the,
because Boebert barely got in.
Yeah, no, she won by a handful of votes, which is probably people who just didn't vote.
Right, yeah.
Who will be voting next time.
Yeah.
And she likes to give hand jobs at children's fucking
musical.
Jesus Christ. You act like you. She literally acts like she's a fucking teenager in high school. Like, that is her. Marjorie Taylor Greene does the same thing. AOC was saying something. She was like, I think you need to put your glasses on. I'm wearing contacts. Good for you. Like, you're an adult.
Sweet. Yeah.
You're an adult. Anyway, I digress. So you really think they had the balls to put, like, remember, third in succession to the president?
Yeah.
Third.
Yeah.
And we're willing to put those pencil erasers on the list.
They're not going to have a list and not have a couple of them on there. Like, now granted, the question is, it's like, do you want like Paul Gosar on there?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, there are so many.
Yeah.
Who's the chick in the Dakotas?
Oh, that's a governor up there, I think.
Okay, thank Christ.
Yeah.
I wanted to say Noam Dor, but he's a wrestler on NXT. Sorry. It's close, though.
Yeah.
Okay, good. See, these are the things I need him for. I don't know all the things other than the list.
Well, and that's the other part of it is that even though, like, Gaetz got his win with this.
But did he?
Well, and that's part of it, is that the rumor mill is saying that there's an ethics report that's going to come back. And he's going to be like, there's going to be multiple things that he's violated, and that the House is going to move to expel him.
Just in this procedure alone. I don't know why they haven't done that to Jim Jordan and him making up fucking rules in his hearings.
Well,
again.
It's government. You have to do an investigation. You have to present. I mean, like, they have their own rules and
they have to vote on the rules, which is why you need a fucking House Speaker.
Which might also be one of the long cons of this with Gaetz and people like Jim Jordan, is that if you don't have a House Speaker, then even if the ethics report comes out,
there's nothing there.
Nothing can be done because you have to have a Speaker first in order to do that.
Same thing with the budget now.
Yeah.
And the whole defunding the investigations or whatever.
Yeah.
That all works in the same. Plus, like I said off air, that it's a distraction as well. Now, we are giving them, this group of humans, way too much credit.
Well, let's not,
That's
too much credit to call them humans either.
Based on previous actions.
Yeah.
Like, they don't think in chess moves, which is what this is. This is 4 or 5 steps ahead.
Right.
They don't think like that. So I think it's pretty safe to say that it's just chaos.
Yeah, they're the people that they play chess and they move one pawn and then they move the queen out.
Right.
Yeah.
You're a fucking moron.
Well, and
here we go. I'm my queen. She's the best.
I'm going to save that for the next part, which is what happens in 45 days. But
we want to take this time to thank you for supporting the Pulpery Podcast. We are available on all podcast platforms, so please follow us and turn on the downloads. You can always delete them later. If audio is not your thing, we are on YouTube. Check out our page and hit the subscribe button, like our episodes, and share with all your friends. Follow us on all the socials for our latest content and additional takes on the latest stories and news. If you need a change for your taste buds, go to thegdsauce.com and change the way you think about the way you eat. From their signature goddamn sauce to their ghost pepper sauce, they have everything you need to rethink condiments. Help support an independent business by getting rid of your same old condiments and boss up with the goddamn sauces.
So we ended with these lists and concessions, right?
Yeah.
So now what happens?
And teasing what maybe Mitch McConnell is going to be doing. So.
It'll be fascinating to see. The Democrats have already shown that they are going to just sit back and watch the world burn at this point in time. And if somebody comes to them, they will they will entertain.
They get to be Don Corleone at this point.
Right, exactly. They can entertain any offer you bring to me, and if not,
it's my daughter's wedding day.
I come to you on your
That's what. Yeah.
May your first.
That's what fucking McCarthy getting ejected is.
May your firstborn be a masculine child. Yeah, that's exactly.
Don Corleone. But yeah,
yes.
It is.
I am happy.
McCarthy being expelled is the wedding day for the Democrats.
So now everybody, right. Now there's just like moderates or whatever you want to call them.
Well, I guarantee even the crazies are going to try and broker a deal.
Somebody's going to have to because the assholes who started all this clearly don't have a plan.
No.
Because they're not smart enough to do what we were talking about. We'd probably make billions if we worked for the Republican Party.
Yeah.
Fuck that. I could not do that. I would rather you set my nuts on fire.
We could still make billions working for the Democrats. We just, get your... But, that's my point, is that 2 years ago, you could be looking at dysfunction in the Democratic Party.
No! Now...
Hakeem Jeffries got that shit on lockdown, baby.
I said we. That's fucking stupid. As a collective, the Democrats are solidified.
Yeah.
It seems like. From the outside.
For now, yes. That doesn't mean forever, but yeah.
But that's... without term limits, it could be like this forever until each and every one of them die. So what are we literally going to get multiple elections, lack of a better term, for House?
Yeah.
They can't just say, "Oh, you're here," other than this list.
Right, but I mean, who's to say that they don't go back on the list?
What do they call the interim pro tempore? Did I say that right?
No, that's in the Senate.
They don't do that in the House?
No, no.
So it's literally vacant.
Yeah. And
until
they can't do they can't do anything until they... It's like Parliament.
I knew everything comes to a fucking standstill. We are at a full fucking stop.
Right.
Until someone gets elected.
The House is like Parliament. Parliament can't function unless it has a prime minister.
Right.
That's what the House of Representatives
thing.
Yeah.
I thought I saw somewhere that there could be what amounts to an interim manager or coach.
Yeah, but there's got to be a vote on that.
So either way, there needs to be a vote, whether it's whatever they call it. Did I say that right?
No, there's like a parliamentarian who negotiates the rules and stuff.
But see, that was my next question.
But that's more like the dude that you saw on like the BBC being like, order.
Yeah. Like, so who does that? That's what I'm saying. You don't have that in the House. Like, there's no one going to be.
So here's the ultimate fucked up part about...
You mean all the other things. Okay. Let's get down to the root cause of
which
this
is,
issue.
In a sense, well, not from the Democrats' perspective, but this is also why it's a bad move on Gaetz's part. So, say, for instance, McCarthy doesn't win a re-election as Speaker.
And he's not.
So whoever comes in, they then can reappoint people on the different
judiciary committees?
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
So Now, again, this could be a positive and a negative.
Well, yeah, of course.
But it's the Speaker of the House who
appoints
that. And that's part of the reason why this hasn't happened is because...
all the other shit that's going on.
Right.
Now, oh, God, is that
so whoever becomes Speaker can change who's on the committees.
Do those committees still work while all this shit is going on?
No, nothing in the House
everything
works.
Comes to a screeching halt.
Yeah. That's why back when they went through 13 votes to get McCarthy in,
nothing happened.
Nothing was going on. And again, the Democrats...
I didn't realize that everything that had been established, with rules established and the committee established...
all that
done.
Can be done away with. Now, somebody could come in and say, hey, even if it's...
betterment of...
Yeah, even if it's not McCarthy. Obviously, if McCarthy gets reelected... Now, again, you might see some positions change. Like, you might take Jim Jordan off because it's like you didn't have my fucking back.
That's why I ask.
Or
because he has his 8 or 12 minions.
But so, we were talking about McConnell before. The wily cat in the House is Steve Scalise. That dude...
I can't get over the fact that I live in the state and Wiley Cat being associated with one of my representatives.
That dude has literally 9 lives.
Yes, he does.
He's been shot.
And he's the guy always... I'm not going to call him the Emperor. But his name always comes up behind the scenes. It's like, so-and-so came to an agreement on this.
He's Darth Maul.
Steve Scalise was part of putting that together.
And I said it back...
Which is fucking...
back before we started doing this segment was that I figured he was going to be the dude that when they were like, McCarthy can't make it, he would be like, all right, I'll do it. And then that would be the one that everybody could agree on because he's...
Is that a bad thing, though?
No.
I'm talking as a neutral. And not
what I'm
living
just saying
in the
is that
state that douchebag lives in.
If we're sitting here and saying, we'll take a Mitch McConnell-esque person, that's Steve Scalise. Steve Scalise understands how government... Now, this is not meaning...
How long has he been there?
For fucking ever. I mean...
He's not as old as McConnell, clearly.
No.
He's been there several cycles.
Well, I mean, he's been the rep for the 1st district since I've moved down here, so over 10 years.
Is that 3 presidents?
Yeah.
Okay. That's heavy.
And he's worked his way up. I mean, first he was just a rep, then he was a whip, now he's the majority leader of the
That's
Republican
what I
Party.
can't get past.
Well,
I can't get past that.
And we know, but again, he's skeevy, he's slimy, he's Mitch McConnell of the House.
But knows what he's doing.
Right.
Which is all we need. You know what?
That's the problem with, like, McCarthy is that he makes, and that's the difference between, like, say, like him and, like, a McConnell. McConnell waits for shit to happen.
Right.
And then he makes his statement.
He's not reactionary necessarily, but he...
Yeah. But McCarthy comes out and says, I'm never doing this, I'm never doing that. And then when you get fucking caught in that, like, that's what career politics...
the only person who can get away with that is Donald Joseph Trump.
Or Bill Clinton, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Dirty Bill did get away with some weight.
Yeah.
The goody mob.
It depends on what you mean, what is means, or what so means.
I'm going to drive home listening to the goody mob.
Yeah.
Dirty Bill Clinton sold me some weight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sold me 2, and I sold him back 8. I can go on forever.
But yeah,
CeeLo Green was in that band, and everybody else is like, oh, it's CeeLo from The Voice. No, he was in the goody mob.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
He was also in that Danger Mouse group. What was that?
Oh, yeah. That short-lived experiment.
But they had like 2 good hits. But anyway.
He was in the goody mob.
Yeah.
From Atlanta.
But no, it's like, I think that's what, honestly, the Republicans in the House, that's what they need to find. They need to find their McConnell.
Yeah,
who can get everybody in lockstep.
Beavis.
Yeah.
Butthead. Who gives a fuck? They have douchebag.
Yeah.
And his...
Rapey McRaperson.
And then you have sexual assault and sexual assault looking the other way, Jim Jordan.
And you have
a gun fetish who likes to give hand jobs in a kid's...
And they're just a bat crazy Floridian... Or no, sorry, Alabamian.
Alabama.
Yeah.
Who likes to fuck her CrossFit people, and now she's... Did you see what... Speaking of... Sorry, I'm going to go off on a tangent.
No, this thing got off the rails a long time ago.
Her boyfriend on TV, Newsmax. Newsmax.
Which one? Boba?
No, not that. Marjorie Taylor Greene's boyfriend on Newsmax said, again, on Newsmax, on tape.
Yeah.
It's part of the record.
The real media.
Liberal women are uglier. And then his female host goes, well, everybody knows that. I'm not quoting here. Just look. I want to look it up now, but I don't want to waste the last 4 minutes we have, 3.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yes, he said that. And the female person with him, I don't know if she was the host or just like co-host or asking questions, pretty face, agreed with him.
Well, so I think this is...
They don't wear makeup. They don't shave their armpits. They don't shave their pussy. That's what they were saying.
Well, they clearly don't know liberal ladies.
No, they don't. They like lots of things.
Well, but I think that's... In a weird way, I think that leads into what we are in, is that the... And I hate to say this, but Republicans of conscience. I mean, would you say that?
Yeah.
They thought that this was like a flash burn, and it would burn its way out.
Right. Like, we'll show them, and it'll go back to normal.
Or not even that. It's like, just ignore it, and then it'll burn its way out. And then, okay, like, it might take 2 years to clean it up.
A cycle or two.
But that's where I honestly think, like, if Hakeem Jeffries and the Democrats are smart, they're going to pull a Tip O'Neill. And they're going to sit there and go, look,
Tip O'Neill.
There's this portion of you all that doesn't want anything to work.
Right.
But if we get 20 of you all.
That's...
And here's what we'll do. We will not go far, far, far left.
No.
But you got to promise us, like, protections for unions. You got to promise us increases in minimum wages.
And that's not major. That's not touching anything that they
helps
are focused.
Everybody.
That's not touching anything that they are focused on.
We're not going to say universal health care.
No,
we're not going to
touch that. We're not going to touch any of that.
We're also not going to... We're in the hard point for them...
Security.
Well, no, the hard point for them is they say we're not going to ask you to sign off on a constitutional law protecting women's right to choose. We're not going to do that. But everything around that, right? I know. But, like, that's what compromise is.
So, like, we're not going to do this, but you can dance around it this way.
Right, yeah.
There are several loopholes.
Right. And... What you need,
but you're right. That's government.
And that's what
that's the whole states' right thing was to
government
begin
has
with. Was Roe versus Wade,
particularly the House. And like I loved Nancy Pelosi, but she was a hardliner on a lot of stuff.
She annoyed me,
and that's why. That's why you needed Tip O'Neill, who was a David Copperfield, who would be like, "Look over here, look at what I got happening here."
Yeah, she always, because we've both agreed that I am a left-leaning centrist.
Yeah.
That's me. My father was...
I'm further than that, but yeah.
My father's a 4-star general.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I get it. I'm on both sides.
Right.
So who do we need back? Tip?
Oh, man. If we
get her back. Him back. Both of them back.
Yeah.
They, them, their, the... all of us.
The following Pulpery podcast is brought to you by The Goddamn Sauce. Go to thegdsauce.com for details to order all the sauces to replace your ordinary condiments. Pulpery is a privately produced podcast by Brock Ryder and Ben Grimmie. On social media and photography by Beck Ryder. Original music by the Heisenberg Compensators.